Ah, finally. All right. Whew. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. So happy to see you. My name is Bree, and this is going to be about a writing discussion. And at the end, I will go over book updates. So, yeah, I'm so happy to finally be on. And yeah, everything is working out in our favor. That is so amazing. So just type into the chat how you're doing and all that stuff. I guess I can get the conversation started. Alrighty. Hold up 1 second. There we go. I am currently going to type in the chat. Hello. Alrighty. Alrighty. Can you hear me at all? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Can you hear me? I know I had some audio difficulties last time, but hopefully everything is working. Can anyone hear me? Anyone hear me? Testing, testing, testing. So yeah. So your questions about writing or anything is welcomed. I would be happy to answer your questions. And let's make this a fun discussion, shall we? Alrighty. So let me just give you a quick. Oh, oh yes. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? Hopefully you are doing well. I'm about to get started. All right. So, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hopefully you can hear me well. All right. So, this past Wednesday, I was on another writing live stream and I was actually looking into the discussion. There were amazing questions, and I know some of them weren't answered. So I'm going to go over some of those questions that I was able to snapshot. And feel free to ask any questions about writing or anything in general. I'll be happy to answer those questions. And let's get started. Alrighty. So, first question. Do you have advice for editing something as large as a novella for the first time? So, first and foremost, I would say treat treat the novella like any other book, because any type of length of writing that you put down on paper, it will need some type of editing. And for someone who has written a novella for the very first time, I've done some revisions, and it does take time, just like any other book or essay or novel. And let's just say it's not always the easiest thing. Revising and editing is not my favorite, but I had to do it if I want a good quality book. So yeah. But I can. I'm going to put in the chat. What do you like to what you like to write about? Just some curiosity. Alrighty. All right. Let's see. Any other writing advice for editing? Yeah, I would say yeah. mainly treat your writing as any type of book or something that you're probably going to share to someone else. That would be my advice. What do you do if you lose What do you do if you lose sight of your main character and they become almost like multiple people? So, when you're writing in your main character's point of view, you are getting into their mindset in their head of what they're going through. It's kind of like you're going inside their shoes. So pretend that you're actually that person going through day to day life in their world. And anytime that you lose sight of your main character, I would say stop where you're at and try to refocus on where you are, where your main character is at. If it doesn't sound like your character, just take a breather. It's okay to just um, have some space with your book, and that's completely fine. And if you need to find your character's voice again, that's completely fine. And let's see. So if it sounds like multiple people, well, first of all, I'll say be careful when you do that because you don't want to give your main character too much because you want them to be unique, but don't make it into where it's so confusing that you barely understand them and feel like they're all over the place. All right. Hopefully, you can hear me very well, and you know, um, you can type in your questions to the chat. I'll be happy to answer. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. How do I break the habit of writing and plotting a plot-driven story when most of the book is about the plot? Okay. Um so I'm going to break this down a little bit. So we all have habits, whether they're good or bad, and depending on that habit, it's really what you make of it. And this person was asking about how to break the habit of writing of and plotting a plot-driven story. Um, I would say depending on what your plot looks like. So if your plot is like very high stakes, that you had to do this or else that happens, I would say you can have smaller scenes that focuses on the characters and have it character centered so it doesn't feel like, oh, we're always on the move, because always being on the move in your story is not necessarily the best thing to happen. And and sometimes the reader would love like a just a moment for the characters, for them to reflect, and it's okay, it's okay. So yeah, so that's one, I'll say that's one way that you can break the habit of writing. So yeah, I'll say in the chat what are some writing habits, what are some what are some writing habits you have? Okay. And it can be answered at any time. Don't be afraid. I'll be happy to interact and have a fun discussion. Alrighty. Let's see. And I want to talk about really quick about plot-driven stories and character-driven stories, in case you don't know what that is. So a plot-driven story is whenever you have something that is going on. So, like, let's just say that you have this party that you're hosting is a big party. You're expecting a lot of people. Well, what is going to take place at the party? What are you going to do? What are the goals that you are trying to achieve so you can have that party to be a success? So plot is just the different things inside there. A character-driven story is focusing on the characters, their internal conflicts, and what's going on with their day-to-day lives. It's not about what is going on around them, it's what's happening within them. So those are some big differences between plot-driven and character-driven. So, yes. And if you have any questions, feel free to type that into the chat. Happy to answer. All right. And I guess I can type in there, do you like reading about... Oh, good. I'm glad that you can hear me. Yes, thank you. Okay, I'm about to type in a question. Hold up. Okay, so do you like reading about the characters, or do you do you like reading about the characters, or rather have things happening? I'll just put action scenes or something like that. Let's see. So, all right. So there is the question. All right. Hello. Type in any questions or comments that you have into the chat. I'll be happy to answer. And yes, this is a writing discussion. And if you stay till the end, I'll give you some book updates. Okay? All right. Sounds good. All right. Alrighty. And if you want me to slow down a little bit, I can slow down. Okay? Okay. Let's see. All right, so next question. How do you make a starting friendship feel real after they've been enemies or supposed to hate each other? So first of all, I would say get outside the house and try to figure out how people interact with each other. And when it comes to how starting friendships and all that stuff and how real it is, like just observing your surroundings really makes a big difference. You don't have to go up to the person like, hey, okay, quick question. I need to ask you how you interact with your friends to do this and that. That would be a little awkward. And if you want to write a friendship that is real, then you gotta like observe, like I said, and figure out how you can weave that into your story and make those character dynamics stand out. All right. And then let's see. Okay, let's say, okay, what if they hate each other? Well, you can watch movies or TV shows that explores character dynamics of whether they're friends or supposedly enemies, and see how they interact and how they handle the situations. I think what people miss out on in trying to make the friendship or whatever relationship between two people is what is really going on. and it's really important to capture the ups and the downs of person relationships, and we want it as real as possible. So yeah, let's see. I guess I can type in the chat. Um, what? What do you like to see between characters? Okay. Yeah. So my question to you is like, what do you like to see between characters, whether you are reading a book or watching a TV show or movie? Like, pretty much, what are you looking for? What is it that would satisfy you when you see or read about characters? And see. I don't know. It's okay if you don't know. Um, let's see. Like, is there a particular I don't know, like, is there a particular character that stands out to you? For me, I wouldn't know because there's so many to choose from. But yeah, let's see. Okay. Mm, okay. This one's actually a great question. How much about your world do you have to know before actually writing it? And I'm going to repeat that question because I love it. How much about your world do you have to know before actually writing it? So when it comes to the world, it's so big and massive. It can also be small as well. You can do whatever you want with it, and it's really, really cool, like exploring the world and what's in it. And I'll say you don't have to know everything. Even as the author of that story, you don't have to be like, okay, I have to know all these rules and all that stuff in order to move on in the plot that is going on. Hold up. Quick question. Do you do script writing? I used to do script writing when it came to my stories. I did it with my first books. I went based on the script, but then I started to like rely less on it. So yeah, and I try to be as spontaneous as I can. Oh, I do script writing. Okay, yeah, and I see scripts can help you have a good structure of how things should be organized. So, yes, I do understand that. So, you might be a plotter. So, okay, so let me discuss about plotters and pantsers. So, what is a plotter and what's a pantser? Okay, so a plotter is someone who outlines and plans in advance. So they're like, okay, before I do this, I had to do this, that, and all that stuff. And they take some time to do it and they make sure it's in order. Yes, please explain. Thank you. But a pantser is someone like me who just does it. And like I'm like, okay, whenever an idea comes to me, I'm going to do my best to write it down or try to remember it the best way I can. But it's always nice to have a little both as well. And I bet we all feel like that at times, just where like plotting in advance, like, okay, there's this deadline and all that stuff. I have to get this done. Pantsers, by kind of pantsing around, you can have fun with it. I'll say you can have fun with both of them. It's just one does planning, the other just does it. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And yeah, and quick question. Um, let me see. Let me type this in the chat. Um, let's see. Do you mean script writing when it comes to videos? And this one. I plan my fun. There used to be a saying called fly by the seat off your pants. That's funny. Oh, okay. So when it comes to script writing my videos, I kind of do. Not really. It's all in my head, and I'm like, yeah. But I don't really do it anymore. I'm like, whatever comes to me, that's what I do. And I try to plan it in advance and all that stuff. So, yeah. Eh, like it's fun trying to plan for the videos and have it all together. But for me, I feel like blah 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 blah. That's how I feel. For you, it might feel different. So either way, it's great. Alrighty. So if you have any questions related to writing or whatever, you can type that into the chat. I'll be happy to answer your questions. If you have any questions about me and what I've been writing about, please feel free to type that in the chat. Okay? Alrighty. So I'm going to move on to the next question. Alrighty. How do you get into your character's voice each time you write? Okay, so as a writer, I love getting into my character's voice. It's like, okay, the story comes to me in my head and it plays like a movie or a TV show. So I can identify character's voice very easily. And like their names, the way they talk, their demeanors, and that all comes to me and I'm like, yeah, let me remember that because I'm going to write this down. And yeah, it really comes to me. And I really enjoy when it comes to me because I'm like all these bright ideas just come to me and sometimes I write it down, other times I'm like, okay, I need to remember this in order to like for it all to work out. Oh, I am glad that you enjoy writing. You seem to be very knowledgeable. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I really love writing. Oh, that's creative. Thank you. Thank you. And I'll say, okay, hold on. Let me put an emoji. There we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So, um, let's see. I guess we can talk a little bit about me, just a little bit of how I got started with writing. So, so like over 3 years ago, like whenever I had my ACL surgery, I asked myself this question about what could I do if I couldn't play basketball? And writing was the answer. And then I was very excited. I was very excited to write. I knew what I was going to do for my first book, and it was so amazing. And just so you know, it's called Mermaid Mysteries. It's so much fun. It started out as a script that became a book. I have revised and edited multiple times. I am hoping that it's at its final revision sets. I'm also currently rereading it, like kind of proofreading myself to make sure it's doing all right and all that stuff. So yeah, that's a little bit about how I got started with writing. I did start writing Mermaid Mysteries. It is a trilogy, and yeah, it's amazing. So hello, welcome new people. Feel free to type in the chat any writing questions or any questions in general. I'll be happy to answer it. So yeah. And let's see. And just curious about what you like to write about. I'm actually going to put that in the chat. What do you like to write about? And it doesn't have to be a book or anything like that. It can be like a diary entry or like an essay or something like, or just like a daily planner that you have that you like writing about. Like writing can be anything. So do not limit yourself into what you can or cannot write, because that is totally up to you. No one is telling you what to do, and you're like your own boss. So yeah. But what else I'll say, I love writing about fantasy. I I love it so much. That's really got me into reading and writing. I really enjoy it. One of my favorite series right here, The Hunger Games. It's actually a dystopian. This is my favorite dystopian book, by the way. And as you see, I have Sunrise of the Reaping as well. Pretty good read. Highly recommended though, as well. But I also had like dystopian, like I said. I love mysteries. Mysteries. I have been reading the Inheritance Games. I love the first book, and it's so amazing. So, what books do you like to read, or like what genre really gets you into the mood of wanting to read or write something? So yeah, and I'll just list some things. So fantasy, dystopian, and mystery. And I currently am uh, writing about a book that is mainly fantasy, but um, it has good um, pieces of mystery. I love mystery. I believe in any book, there's always some type of mystery, and that is really cool to me. And it doesn't always have to be like, oh, someone did this and da da da. There's always something that has to be solved, and just gotta be willing to get into the mystery. And with my first book, Mermaid Mysteries, like at each page, you always learn something new, and it's pretty cool. And it might seem fast paced. To me, it's not fast paced, but it does depend on who's reading it. But it's really good. I do have my first two chapters linked in the description below if you want to check it out. And yeah. Oh, question. What's up with the picture in the background? Oh, this one right here. Top 25 pictures with my star teacher. Yeah. As you see, the Hunger Games book. Yeah. So I had a little fun with that. Um, I thought someone was going to ask that question. Anyways, yeah. Let's see. Um, let's see. Let's see. Next question. Okay. What is the best way to tackle identity as a theme in the story? So, when it comes to identity, that's a broad topic. So, depending on what you want to tackle in identity, uh, I know in my first novel, this is a completely different book, by the way. I I tackle it sells over my head. That's very funny. So I have this novel that is not the first book I'm working on, but I I tackle identity about who this person becomes while they're exploring the real world. And it's really important to uh, to navigate where you are, and to it's important to know where you are and how to navigate through life, because life is going to throw things at unexpected times and causes, and we might not always be ready for it, but what we can do is prepare and just look forward to it. Look forward to it. Oop. Uh, and we just knowing our surroundings and what goes on to life, just so we can be aware. And yeah. Okay. Here's a question. So, Bree, what are you looking forward as far as going to college? So, I am looking forward to meeting new people and trying out the city life. That's going to be completely new to me. Uh, and it's going to be definitely different. And yeah, the classes and really a lot of things. It's very, very fun and exciting to think about. So yeah, you planning anything fun before starting college? My birthday. Yeah, my birthday. I'm gonna plan my birthday. um, let's see. Um, yeah, try to spend time with friends and all that stuff. Um, let's see. I'll make some more videos um, about my book and other things in writing. Pretty fun. Yeah. So I'm planning quite a bit. So yeah. And I want to pause a little bit because about this question, like theme. Theme is the message or the moral that you are trying to tell your readers about. So with a theme, it could be almost anything. You um so something that stands out to you that is important, let the readers know that, and get your point across without it being all preachy and like all bah. You don't have to have it all just like all telly. You can also show it as well and weave it into your story. And they're like, okay, I understand. So this is what the writer is trying to say and wants me to get out from this story. So theme is very important when you are trying to write a story. And you can have fun with it. You can choose. No one's telling you what you have to write unless you're at school and like you have to write an essay, but we're talking about writing, free write. It is your story to tell and no one can tell you what to do. So, yeah. Okay. Which point of view is easiest to write? Okay. In my opinion, I believe third person is the best one to write in because you're not as restricted to be in one person's head or perspective. You can just jump around a little bit. You're more flexible. And for me as a writer, I love flexibility when it comes to writing my stories. And just being stuck in one person's head is just so annoying. I guess I can explain first person, third person, and all that stuff. So first of all, third person. So third person, use you don't use I, me, my, and you don't use any of those words. It's more of you, blah 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 blah. There's a list. I'm gonna look that up really quick. So, uh, third person point of view words because I want to make sure it's correct. So, Pretty much, third person point of view stories are told from an outsider's perspective using pronouns like he, she, it, they, other words. Yeah, pretty much not using I, my, or me. Um, so yeah, I like that. Oh, hello, hello. How are you? I'm glad you can join, and you can type any questions that you have in the chat. I'll be happy to answer it. So yes, right now we are talking about point of view when it comes to writing, and point of view is very, very fun. Very, very fun. I love writing in third person. My book series is in third person, so I can um, elaborate more on what's going on in the story. And I want to be like, oh, I know everything and all this. This is what happened and all that stuff. So yeah. But I want to really quick talk about first person. So first person is that you are in one person's head and they are just telling you the story of what's happening in their life. And it's very restrictive because you're just in their head and like you're getting the events from what they're seeing. And that's good and all that stuff, but it's very limiting. And with first person, you might be getting a unreliable narrator. An unreliable narrator is someone who doesn't know everything about it, or they're just getting information. It's like you can't entirely trust what they're saying. A good example is the Hunger Games books back there, because okay, so the trilogy plus the prequel books are unreliable narrators because they don't tell the whole story because they are living through those times, but they haven't went through like every single thing. So that's what makes them kind of unreliable narrators. And yeah. Um but yeah. So I would personally do third person, my opinion. When it comes to second person is rare. Second person is when you use you or yours. A great example of what book is used for that is The Lord of the Rings, if you can't see it. So The Lord of the Rings right here uses second person really well. I read The Hobbit, and there was some second person point of view when the author actually steps in and explains something. So I'll give you an example from The Hobbit of what I mean about that, because there are some second person things. If I can find one. Oh, okay. Here we go. So this is on page 23. So wait. No. Let me get a better example. But there are some second person in here that Tolkien uses. But that's usually when he's explaining something. Anyways, couldn't find it. Oh well. That's second person. Second person is using you or yours. But it's a lot more challenging to write. But yes, feel free to type in the chat any questions that you have. I'll be happy to answer. Yes. And just if you stay till the end, I'll give you some book updates about what I've been writing about. And yes, I'm very excited to talk about it in a few minutes. So yes. Let's see. So what to do when all of your ideas sound pretty similar and have the same repetitive motive? So I love this question, not because of how similar the question sounds or something, but I I love the word motive. Motive stands out to me because when you're doing something, you have some type of motive or some reason to do what you're about to do or what you did. And that motive gives us a reason to stick around, and in story perspective to root for the character. So I really love that word. So when all of the ideas sound pretty similar, I would really think about that. I would think about like what is going on in the story. Kind of, I would say outline what your story looks like, and if any of those ideas are pretty similar, see where it works out and then cut it wherever it just seems repetitive. And I would say the only exception I would give you if you're writing anything, like a short story, novella, or a novel, or even an essay that is argumentative, or you're trying to prove a point, um, unless it all connects in some way, shape, or form, you can repeat it or just like kind of tease it in a way so we know it's like, okay, this is what the author or writer is trying to say. They're trying to piece it all together and they're repeating it so it can still stay fresh in our minds, so when it does come to that twist, we got it. But if you're just repeating the same thing over and over, it's gonna feel like you are dragging the writing, and uh chances that that your reader is going to put it down or just not listen to you. So be very careful when it comes to planning out your story with similar ideas, because it will sound quite repetitive, and you want it to be as straightforward as possible. All right. And feel free to ask any questions, writing related, or just great discussion so far. Really enjoying it. And let's see. Another question I have is, how should I make weaknesses for my characters? Should they be deep rooted or surface level is enough? So this is like a two-part question. So it's very important to make. Okay, let me rephrase that. It's important for your characters to have weaknesses. Because if you only show the strengths of what they're good at, how are they going to learn? How are they going to struggle? Because we all struggle, and as human beings, we are not perfect. Let me just say that bottom line. We are not perfect people. And there are going to be times that we might be down and we might give up and all. But having those weaknesses are going to motivate us to not give up and to persevere and overcome whatever is in the way. And for characters, we want them to be relatable. So having those weaknesses will allow them to be vulnerable, and we can relate to them. And we want to relate to them as much as possible. We want to see them as if we were the ones actually in the story going through it. And it's very satisfying when you have characters that are being vulnerable and have weaknesses, and we can relate to them. Instead of them being a Mary Sue or something stew. So, yeah. And then this is about the weaknesses. So should the weaknesses be deep rooted or surface level is enough? So not every character that has to have like a backstory of how their weakness came to be. That's not necessary for every single character. If so, it would be boring info dumps about, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, we get it. Yeah. Can we really see them go through it and not you telling us like all about it and give us a whole entire chapter of like why their weakness and like why they can't do it and all that. So I would say be very careful when it comes to having deep rooted weaknesses. But it's alright having surface level weaknesses, like on the nose and like, oh, okay, I can relate to that. Yeah, I have that too. Yeah, I might not be good at this, but I can try. And yeah. So I'm gonna type in the chat. What do you like about? What do you like about? What do you like about characters? Yeah, and this can be from like just reading books or watching TV or movies or television shows. Like, what do you like about characters? Like, do you like to see them grow? Do you like to see relatability? Do you like them to have their own personality? There are so many different options that you can choose from. And yeah. And just curious, like, do you like villains? Like, do you like whenever the villain tends to struggle or whenever the villain tends to plan something and something doesn't work out and like, oh my, I am rooting for that villain and they're doing great in what they do. I want the villain to win, not the protagonist or the hero, you know? And yeah. But what I like from a character, I like when they're relatable and down to earth. I really like that. But on the flip side, what I don't like about characters is them being overboard. Like, they might say something that might not be the best way to say things. Um, or they might do something that I would never do. I was like, that's crazy. Why did you do that? And like, or like not having a reason. I don't like characters who don't have a reason to doing what they do. Like I said before, like it's the motive, having a motive of why you're doing the thing you're doing really tells the difference between a character who is doing something or they're just doing. And that's like a proactive character and a reactive character. Really quick, a proactive character is someone who goes after it and they have reasons to do it. They go on the move. A reactive character is someone who just reacts to things around their surroundings and they're just doing it just to do it. So yeah. Hold on, let me go. Quick drink. Oh. Okay. So yeah. So any questions that you have, you can type that in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah. Whew. But but if you have stayed till the end of this live stream, I want to thank you very much. And I'm going to talk about my debut book, Mermaid Mysteries, with all of you. So, in the coming weeks, well, now and in the coming weeks, I am going to send like updates, like kind of crazy. And I actually currently have shorts that's called Talk Mermaid Mysteries. That is actually down below in the description. So if you want to check that out after this live stream and see what's up with Mermaid Mysteries, please feel free to. And also, I'm going to have videos that's going to be related to promoted Mermaid Mysteries. And I'm really excited to do that. I'm going to do a deep dive of the first 2 chapters that really centers around a misunderstood character, and I'm really excited about that. I want to do it as soon as next week for that video. I'm drinking tea. I like tea. And I really want to really get into the into the mystery and yeah, publishing plans and all that stuff. Uh, so yeah, I'm currently reading Mermaid Mysteries to see if everything's all right. My goal is to not revise and ed at all. Um, I want to just read through it and be like, okay, this is final. This is my stamp of approval. And yeah, but you can also check out the first 2 chapters down in the description below. It has a PDF. And you can also comment below, like how that experience was reading the first 2 chapters. Very excited and yeah. And I want to thank everyone who has been on this live stream, uh, either watching it now or in the future. I just want to thank you so much. Great discussion. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Okay.